mammoths of men. There was two guys down there, you know, they were squatting hundreds of pounds, they were benching hundreds of pounds, they had cut-off shirts, I think they were wearing headbands. Their arms, I'm not kidding you, were this big, okay? And in the corner of that weight room was this freshman curling like 10 pounds, watching them like this. Those two guys were Nick Harlan and Brian Wall. They don't quite look the same today. But I kid you not, their arms were massive. And I'm pretty sure I figured out their workout schedule and just went to watch them. That's when I learned what true jealousy meant. So that's my story about Nick and Brian. They were beasts on this campus back in the early 2000s. So I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate Lynnette and Carolyn. I'm happy for you guys. Thanks for celebrating this day with us. So I'm going to go through our head coaches. Please stand, and the athletes you brought, please stand as well. So Jonathan Andrews is this is first year men's head wrestling, and he brought Julian Marufo. Coach Drew Burks, men's basketball, brought Luca Gill. Bailey Davis is our head coach for cheer and dance, and she brought Rachel Walton and Tate Strachan. Brendan Hannafy, our women's interim head soccer coach, he brought Mackenzie Stricker. Trent Hinton does a ton of work for the athletic department. He's our SID. I want him to be I don't know if he brought an athlete with him, but glad he's here. Chad Karcher, athletic training, and got a brand new building. He brought Jess McGrath. Ronnie Miller, head coach for softball. She brought Carla Martinez and Caitlin Rowe. Karina Minjarez, she's the head women's basketball coach. She brought Natalia Perez. Crystal Netting is our head women's volleyball coach, and she brought Shelby Fromm. Zayden Fowl, head golf coach, and he brought Trevor Spence. Colin Tucker, he's our head coach for esports, and he brought Gil Cardoso. Brian Wall, our head coach for baseball, brought Ian Heck. Last but not least, we have Tyler Will, our head men's soccer coach, and he brought Johan Rodriguez and Felipe Venegas. I want to thank all of you coaches. You guys basically never stop working. You don't get enough credit. You're on duty all the time, and I appreciate the hard work you put in. Thank you, athletes, for being here and celebrating this ceremony with us. That's all I have, and I'm going to pass it on to Ronnie. Woohoo!
Hey, here we go. Oh man, I'm going to try really hard to get through all of this without crying. I had to practice it, and even when I was practicing it, I was crying. So we'll just figure it out as we go. All right, so this summer, I got a phone call from Triple Crown Sports letting me know that they were organizing the very first showcase tournament in Hawaii, and they were only inviting 10 college coaches to attend. They were calling the invite the golden ticket, and I was their first phone call. They said they'd pay for my plane ticket, my hotel, my rental car, and all my food. I was pumped. I told them all I needed to do was check with Kenny and the dates, but I was in. So I called Kenny, told him all about it, told him the dates, and he said, "Babe, you know what those dates are, right?" I was like, "No." And he said, "Homecoming. You're inducting Nick and the first ever softball players." Well, I'm not on a beach this weekend. Instead, I'm standing here. help induct 3 of my friends. York University has been excelling in athletics for decades. A group of alumni gathered in the summer of 2011 and decided it was time for our university to celebrate athletes with the Hall of Fame. Our very first inductees, Carolyn and Dolores Campbell, served our campus for almost 20 years, not only coaching basketball, but teaching their players about Jesus. The Lettermans, since their induction, we have had the pleasure of inducting 17 individual athletes and 3 teams. At this time, we'd like to ask all the past Hall of Fame honorees, individual or team members, to please stand. Thank you for being here to welcome in 3 more to your elite club. If you are a lifetime Letterman, if you're a member of the Letterman's Association and you are a lifetime member, we'd like for you to please stand and be honored now. The Letterman's Association also began in the summer of 2011. I'll never forget the first time that I received a letter from the Letterman's Association. The envelope had a phrase on it, honor the past, build the future. Those 6 words meant so much to me because I believed in that mission from the very beginning. Yes, I'm an employee of York University, but I'm an alumnus first. And I've been a member of the Letterman's Association since 2011 when it began. We believe in all of our programs here, but we need your help. The biggest stress our coaches have, besides recruiting, is wondering if our programs will stay within our budgets each year. Our programs continue to succeed, but we go without every day. Coach Mike Candrea, former head coach of the University of Arizona and Team USA, once said the hardest part from transitioning from coaching baseball to coaching softball was understanding the difference in how women play sports. He discovered that men have to play good to feel good, but women, we have to feel good to play good. And a big part of feeling good is looking good. And there's something about a sharp uniform that can help a player do amazing things. When I took the program over 9 years ago, the team didn't have one matching uniform. Their helmets were mismatched and they looked sloppy. It was amazing what a few donations did for our team. We got new uniforms, new equipment, and travel clothes. We arrived to competitions feeling confident, and it didn't surprise me when we started to win. We're so thankful for our Lettermen that choose to give back, but more importantly, we're so thankful that they continue to believe in the mission of York University. If you played sports here at York University at one time, please stand and be recognized now. Thank you for being here to welcome in the Hall of Fame class of 22. But now that I've seen you all and you've all stood up, I'd like to also ask you to consider joining the Letterman's Association. You can join the association and become a lifetime member with a single donation of $1,000. You can also make monthly payments for a year for $84. Doesn't sound so bad now, right? Okay. All right. When you become a lifetime Letterman, you receive a lifetime pass to all YU athletic home games, a ticket to the Hall of Fame Luncheon yearly, and a lapel pin to wear proudly, and you have direct access to our coaching staff to help us grow athletics at YU. Please come and talk to me after the ceremony if you'd like to learn more, and remember, honor the past, build the future. Last year, we started the tradition of gifting a lifetime Letterman status to one of our athletic team members. Head baseball coach Brian Wall was our first recipient last year. This year, we are honored to present lifetime Letterman status to someone on our athletic staff team that we seriously couldn't survive without. The honoree is in his 18th year of working for York University. He started his career here as the dorm dad of McLeod in 2004, and while working in student life, he also began working for athletics, helping out Coach Chris Luther with soccer and started some minimal SID duties. He eventually became a full-time head coach for women's soccer in 2007 and helped lead his team to the opening round of the national tournament in 2010. His players described him as a gentle leader who helped them understand the game better. Like most of us in athletics, we begin to wear multiple hats while coaching our sport, and the honoree knew he could give more and was meant for more. In November of 2013, Trent Hinton became the first sports information director for York University. We were the first institution in our conference to have any form of an SID, and we were the first institution in our conference to have a paid SID as well. We really don't have a database for any school records prior to the early 2000s, so besides the usual duties of game day management, Trent would spend time researching past records. He was a big reason why we discovered that York University won a national championship in volleyball in 1996, and they became our team of distinction in the Hall of Fame last year. Trent's duties include organizing home games, game day must-haves from scoreboards and stats to concessions and gates. He reports official scores, does all athletic journalism, manages our website, broadcasts, and commentates, works with the coaches for eligibility and compliance within the NAIA. He is the first SID that our fellow conference institutions call when they need help, so it was a no-brainer for him to be asked to become an assistant athletic director in 2021. I'm honored to call him one of my best friends, but I'm even more honored to welcome him into the Lifetime Letterman Association. So please help me congratulate Trent Hinton, Lifetime Letterman. Okay, all right. Now on to our first honoree, Lynnette Pickering. Unfortunately, Lynnette couldn't be here with us today, but we're still going to honor her in front of many of her past teammates. I had the honor of playing with Lynnette and our next honoree, Carolyn. They were both reasons why this Californian survived softball life at YU. One of our teammates, Natalie Groh-McAlpin, had this to say about Lynnette. Lynnette Pickering came to York University in the fall of 1997 on a softball scholarship. She was immediately coined with the nickname Pitt. As the softball season approached in the spring of 1998, Lynnette had been recruited to play third base. Things quickly changed when the Panthers unexpectedly needed a catcher. Lynnette stepped into the role willingly and with no complaints. It was a new position to her, but she was willing to take on that role for the sake of her team. Lynnette worked hard at learning the position and excelled at it. As a 4-year starting catcher, she was able to control the field and direct her teammates. Lynnette was a leader on and off the field. She was always willing to learn more and help her teammates get better. Her teammates looked up to her as a leader and an integral member of the team. Lynnette was able to help her team to a lot of firsts in York University softball history, the most prestigious being York University's first NAIA regional berth in 2000. As well as being an outstanding softball player and teammate, Lynnette was also my best friend. We were dorm roommates and off-campus roommates. She was honest, dedicated, and always loyal. We created a lot of memories on and off the field that I hold near and dear to my heart. I wish I could be there today to help celebrate you. This is much deserved, and a big congratulations to you. I love you, Natalie Groh-McAlpin. P.S. Also, a big congrats to Barr and Nick Harlan. All right. Lynnette caught for me for 3 seasons, and she caught Tiana Endicott for her final 2 seasons. I couldn't induct Lynnette without getting a few words from Tiana. The words she used to describe the pitcher-catcher relationship was perfect, and she had this to say about Pitt. It's hard to describe the relationship between a pitcher and a catcher. To say it is close would be a gross misrepresentation of the truth. Pitching can often feel like an isolating experience where you are waging war against the batter to outsmart and outperform them. The lone person standing with you in the battle is the catcher. Locked in a silent conversation of signals together, we agree on the next pitch to be thrown to exploit any weakness of the batter. My catcher is responsible for knowing my preferences, strengths, weaknesses, the batter's weaknesses and strengths, and how to harness the most out of her pitcher. Pick did all those things and more. She provided not only her exceptional skill behind the plate, but a calmness and maturity to control the flow of the game. She fully deserves this honor, and I'm proud to have shared the field with her. She was a spectacular catcher, a pleasure to play with, and there was no one else with whom I would rather go wage war. Congratulations, Pitt. On Lynnette's plaque, it says, Lynnette Pickering wore Panther blue from 1998 through 2001, playing under head coaches Laura Eldred, Doug Berry, and Rex Reynolds. Lynnette Pickering was a 4-year starter for the Panthers from 1998 to 2001. At the end of the 1998 season, she was named the MCAC All-Conference First Team. This was a first in program history. Not only was she instrumental in growing the program, but she was one of 3 teammates that helped save the program after the 1998 season. Lynnette was the ultimate teammate, leading on the field as a starting catcher when she had complete control of the field. Her pitchers respected her, and her defense followed her lead. She continued to be an integral part of the program, helping to lead the Panthers to their first MCAC conference tournament in 1999 and their first NAIA regional berth in 2000. Pickering was a 4-time MCAC honoree and a 2001 York Sertoma Club award recipient. Lynnette was also an active member of Delta Chi Alpha Social Club, helping the club to win multiple all-sports awards. So because of her outstanding athletic achievements during her years with York University, on this day, October 22nd, 2022, Lynnette Pickering is inducted into the York University Athletic Hall of Fame. So yesterday at chapel, Victor Rodriguez stopped me, and he delivered a letter that Lynnette wrote that she wanted me to read as her acceptance speech. Okay. Dear alumni, distinguished guests, coaches, and honorees, I wish with all my heart that I could be with you today. It is with sincerest regret that I am unable to attend this induction into the Hall of Fame. I cannot begin to express my gratitude and sincerest appreciation for this great honor. I thank you for the opportunity to express my sincerest thanks to my fellow teammates, coaches, and honorees. Although you are bestowing this great honor on me, I know that it was truly a team effort that allows me to be honored today. It has been many years since I was a part of a Panthers team, but I have carried my teammates and my coaches in my heart and prayers throughout my life. The lessons I learned during my college years have helped me make me successful in my life. I learned to work with others in a cohesive unit to achieve goals. I learned that I can achieve anything with hard work and believing in myself. The coaches taught us to develop our skills and talent, but more importantly, how to work together as a team, how to push ourselves to be the best we can be, and to never stop trying to be better. They brought out the very best in each of us and taught me the skills to look for greatness in others. My teammates showed me the importance of depending on each other and encouraging each other to be the best we could be to succeed. They showed me that alone I can be good, but together we can be fantastic. Again, I couldn't have done it without my teammates. I'm very proud to be a York alumnus and to have had the opportunity to be a part of the Panthers softball team. I would like to give a special thank you to Ronnie and Jared for this great honor. They have put a lot of hard work into this. Ronnie and I played those golden years together, and she knows how special they were. Ronnie, I'm so proud of you. You've always been a leader. You would step up all the time. I'm so proud you have found your way back to York. You were meant to be here, and you carry on the Panther magic and lead these women. You have taken this softball program to a new level. To my fellow honoree Carolyn and teammate, congratulations. I wish I could have celebrated with you in person, but I'm with you in spirit. You are a great shortstop, our leadoff, and a great leader on the field and off. This honor is well deserved. I love you guys. I will cherish all the memories and great friends I made while at York. This place is special and forever in my heart. Go Panthers. All right. Now for our second honoree. Oh wait, those are just some fun pictures. Yeah. Sorry. And I had to make sure that we put in a picture of Rex's shorts. Yes. That's for you, Chrissy. There you go. In case you forgot. All right. Okay. Now for our second honoree, Carolyn Barr Johnston. A fellow teammate, Emmy Noma, wanted to be here today to help honor Barr, but was unable to attend, but she sent this letter to welcome Barr into the Hall of Fame. One of the beautiful things about sports in York is its ability to encourage and nurture lifelong friendships. It's fun and nostalgic thinking of my time with the Panthers and with Barr, from turning double plays, hour-long practices on the basketball courts, which I want to just real quick to especially my players. So we didn't have the whole field house when we played. We had to practice in the Freeman Center. The Freeman Center used to have this like rubber floor, so we could like hit ground balls on it and practice in there. So no more complaining. Tell your teammates. So hour-long practices on the basketball courts. okay? Until the fields defrosted enough of the snow for us to play, to driving with our hilarious teammates for tournaments nearby and farther, to being middle infield co-captains, while also roommates as we helped each other through the highs and lows of softball, and more importantly, of life in general. The journey continues, from being a bridesmaid in her wedding, to Major League game meetups in Oakland and Denver, to visiting her when she lived in the middle of Australia. This is the kind of friendship that can be built at York University. And the love and respect that comes from those long hours, and the utter trust of knowing my shortstop would be there to toss the ball to turn the double play. As an exceptional leader on the team, Barr pushed me to be a better player and co-captain, both by her booming but encouraging voice that seemingly came out of nowhere, because she never talked like that off the field, and by her example. Work hard always, and we're better doing it when we have fun and support one another. She took the Panthers softball team to one of the best it had and fielded at that point, and she deserves this recognition to the York Hall of Fame. She was and is a beautiful, rare combination of Christ-centered service, seriousness, levity, smart and strong athleticism, all wrapped in laughter and love. I always have her voice in my head as she would tease me and cheer me on when up to bat by belting out a mispronunciation of my name one time at a game in Kansas. Now up to bat, and my Playing middle infield with Barr and often 1-2 with her in the lineup as well was one of the great joys and highlights of my time at York, and indeed of playing sports throughout my life. Congratulations, Barr, well deserved. Ronnie, please give Barr a high five for me. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, sorry. Carolyn's back. All right, Carolyn, come on. Carolyn wore Panther blue from 1999 through 2002, playing softball under head coach Doug Barry and finishing her career with head coach Rex Reynolds. Carolyn was an all-conference player all 4 years while playing at York College from 1999 to 2002. She also helped the team to their first postseason berth her freshman year and followed that up with helping the team to their first NAIA regional berth her sophomore year. Her teammates described her as a leader on the field and in the dugout. Barr was the ultimate teammate. An outstanding shortstop and a leadoff hitter with the ability to switch hit made her a standout on the field. Admired not only for her ability on the field, Barr was a student leader on campus involved in social clubs and was broadly known as a friend to all, always willing to lend a helping hand or in some cases a great hug to anyone who crossed her path. Aside from her impact on the softball team, she also was involved as a leader in campus ministries, Beta Beta Sigma Social Club, and held a work-study position. Because of her outstanding athletic achievements during her years at York University, on this day, October 22nd, 2022, Carolyn Johnston is inducted into the York University Athletic Hall of Fame.
Donnie made me speak. This is not my forte, so. I want to thank you all for being here today to celebrate with the three of us. It's a huge honor, and I'm very grateful to be here. I don't feel it's deserved, but thank you. It's an absolute honor to be nominated for this. And I'm incredibly thankful for the opportunity to have played softball at York College, and grateful to those that helped me get here and those who were part of those very epic years. How I got to York was purely an unexpected miracle and an answer to prayer. I came to York as a transfer student. I was originally at Washington State University my freshman year. I hated it. I chose Washington State actually because I was burned out on softball. They didn't have a team, and it was the farthest in-state college I could find, farthest away from home. So it was kind of a runaway. I needed a break, and I regretted it. And I quickly discovered there that I missed softball terribly. It was my passion, and I hated the environment that I was in. I was not thriving, and I wanted more for myself. I actually had 3 friends from high school that attended York. Jeremiah Rector, who played baseball, Michelle Stewart, and Beth Charchan, now Sears. They were from my high school and they came here. And Maya had convinced me to come to YC. He knew I was unhappy. He said, come on out, see what we have to offer here. Come play softball, they need some players. And reluctantly, I came to the plains and cornfields of Nebraska from my mountains and water. But I came to check it out. And it was in the midst of that trip that I knew I found my place and I found my people. This was the answer to my prayer, and this was where I knew I belonged. And as soon as I got here, that next school year, however, our coach had left, the one who had signed me. So we were left without a coach. So from the ups and downs of having a coach, to having no coach, to having a fill-in coach, to finally getting a full-time coach, the core of the YC softball stayed the course, and we made a name for ourselves. We gained the respect as serious athletes and competitors at York College. And as a team, we never backed down. We were strongly committed to always giving our best, always playing our best game, and giving our all. Without my amazing teammates, especially Ronnie, Ariana Miller, Emiko Noma. See, now I was getting confused. So often we always give our time. Natalie Bro, Lynnette Pickering, and so many others. And I would not be here today accepting this honor if it wasn't for the core 3 that did actually save our program. And I'm grateful for that, because without that, we wouldn't have the amazing program that we have today. A special thank you to Ronnie. You were the glue and the team leader that held us together during those troublesome years. I'm not sure the program would have survived without your dedication and persistence. She's constantly persistent. I'm sure she still is today. Ronnie, thank you for being an incredible teammate, an incredible friend, and for helping to keep our legacy alive and to continue, even today, to keep YC softball strong. You are incredible, and I love you. Thanks to Jeremiah Rector, my dear, dear friend all these years, and we still are today. I wish he was here today, but I thank him for pushing me and encouraging me to step out and see God open unimaginable doors of opportunity here at York College for me. I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for him. Chad Karcher, I'm going to give a shout out to Chad. Without Chad, my arm would be dead. So all those many years in the box of an athletic training center that we had there, the electric stem, I just appreciate all that you did for us athletes. And I'm sorry, not sorry that we always played with paraffin wax. That was always something. My parents were constant supporters and my biggest fans. They couldn't be here today. My mom is recovering from surgery, and my dad, we lost him to Lou Gehrig's disease about 5 years ago. He was my lifelong coach. I'm sure many of you have those dads that were always at the fence line, yelling and cheering and coaching you even when they shouldn't have been. That was my dad. And he would have loved to have been here today. He always said one of his greatest joys was watching me play. And thank you, my husband Dave. He met me when we were here at York College. He lived in Colorado at the time in the Air Force, and he would drive hours and hours and hours to come out for a weekend. But he knew that softball was my #1 job and passion at that time, and he survived many of those years. Thank you to all who are here today to celebrate this honor with us. And I just am so appreciative of my time here at York College. I'm appreciative of all of the amazing friends who have been family, who've been at my wedding, sorry. This is why I don't speak. But I have have been a part of pushing it in the right direction and getting it to where it is today. And it's amazing work.
You're up. There you go.
All right. Looking forward to this day to roast Nick a little bit, or to honor Nick a little bit. Looking forward to this day. In 2000, I came to York College. I didn't come in the fall. I came in the spring. And the first practice on a Monday, we're in the gym, like Ronnie mentioned, ready to have a fun practice inside on a place where we shouldn't play baseball. And I look up and my hitting partner is Nick Harlan. And I kind of figured out, now as a coach, I understand why Coach Rassick put me with Nick. Nick is what you call a unifier. He brings people together. He talks, he's easy to talk to, easy to approach, and he kind of connects to everybody. Being the first time there, I figured Coach Rassick put me with Nick to help me connect a little bit better. And we hit in there together, and I didn't know at the time, but that's your hitting partner the rest of your career. So Nick and I hit hours, felt like 1,000 hours inside the field house for years. And through that process, became really good friends. We also decided we both wanted to coach. And for some reason, we decided Nick's going to be the head coach, and I'm going to be his assistant. I just knew at the time that he was going to be more ready than I was. And like, he just seemed like a head coach. I'm going to be your assistant. We're going to take over a program someday. We decided back then, we're 20 years old, 19. We didn't think of New York College, but that was the plan. Fast forward 2 years in advance, 2 years. The current coach was Jerry there at the time. I stayed here. He went to Feather River. He told me I'm going to leave after this year. So I'm like, okay, maybe he leaves late. We can jump in and get the job somehow. So I called Nick up right after, hey Nick, come back. You have like 2 classes left, finish your degree. Maybe Coach Larry will leave, and we'll get lucky and take over. We can take over the program. Well, it worked. He leaves in June of that year, which is really late. It's like perfect timing. They got to hire somebody young. This is the opportunity to do it. And he applies for right away. And we thought he has a chance. And Chris Luther's the AD at the time, which is like, when you take a chance on a 22-year-old, our players are about our same age. So a week later, we're at the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska, watching the game. I still remember this moment. And Nick gets a call from Coach Luther, and he says, hey, I'll let you take it over. Brian's going to be your assistant. And I can see Nick go, like, he looked at me and goes, we're going to take it over. And we're like, fourth inning, we just got up. we have to get going. There's 2 hours of game, we can't waste it. We actually got up the game and left right in the middle of the game. Because we're like ready to go. We got in the car and started recruiting instantly. And we ended up recruiting 25 players like a month and a half. And really, it's like amazing. We just went after, kind of had a plan. We talked for 2 years of hitting stations. We kind of had a good plan how we were going to do it. And I still remember this one moment. We got the job. A staff member actually here at the time goes, "Oh, I appreciate you guys taking over until we find the coach." And Nick and I were like, we're going to show some people. We're not just going to step in for a year. We're going to do this right. Crew of 25 players. Nick broke the score record for wins the very first year. Won 39 games. Broke the record that as players we set. And that same person came back and said, "Oh, I guess you guys are the real coach." Recovered. But it was a process to get there. Nick went on to win, obviously, 300 games in 9 years. Very impressive. That's hard to do. You beat me. You won more games than I did. So I was on track. I was like on COVID. I was on track. I was right there. I was right tired to about 6 years in. That's right. I did break the single season win record, so I got one. I got my next 9 years. I'm going to try to break it. It starts again this year. But who would have known that hitting group would be almost 20 years of head coaches right there? You just never know what life takes you, where God's plan is for you. It's crazy what happens. But before I was trying to prepare for this speech, I thought let's call some players, let's put some emails out, and just basically the question I asked people: what's one word or phrase you think if you think of Coach Harlan? So I got about 6 different things popped up pretty consistently. First one is a great leader. Nick's a natural born leader. Some people just have like these gifts, these talents, a skill set to be a great leader. And just how you communicate, he had that, and also he improved it, he worked on it, and got better at it. You can be a great leader if you don't have the skill set, but he had it naturally. And every player said, great leader. You know, somebody just gravitate towards. If you know Nick, you know what I'm talking about. You kind of just gravitate towards Nick. He's a great leader. Number 2, intense competitor. Nick was intense. Like, intense. Got a lot of stories I can go through. One, you know, if you're in the dugout in the game, now game day is an intense, very intense day. And if anything bad happened, Nick could always give the flex. He'll go, and he'll look at, I don't know what it was, he'll look at me and go, I have to find some way, come up with some plan to find a way to win. Nick believed you can will a team to win, especially at a young age. Or you bring them up, get them going, you try to find a way, or you go, we're getting over-recruited, you know what I'm saying? Getting over-recruited, all right, sounds good. But with Nick, you have to know how to work with him. We worked really good for best friends, and I can give it back to him, we can be honest with each other. We fought once in a while in the dugout. We did. Sometimes they move the outfielders. So let your pitchers get lit up, or move outfielders. We'd fight a little bit in the dugout, like because you're so competitive. That's when they came up a lot, super competitive. Number 3, the guy never missed anything. As a coach, as you coaches know in here, it's hard to do. It's like, oh, it's a close, ran hard, I think. You know, touched the line, pretty close. But for Nick, it was either you did it or you didn't. At a young age, you kind of figured it out. And I've been a coach for many years. It's easy to go, that's close. Because it's grinding, it's hard to do over and over again. This is a scenario I've seen many times. Player runs down a line called a hard 90 in baseball. It's questionable. Brings him up. Did you run hard? I think so. He's like, I think so. You think so? No. Did you run hard? I'm pretty sure. And in the Harlans, I believe there's no such thing as pretty sure. I think so. Especially for Nick. It's either yes or no. And you get the kid who go, I guess I didn't run hard. And you make him run it again over and over again. And as the season went on, you bring him up. You learn how to communicate to Coach Harlan. Like, did you run hard? Yes, ran hard as I can. I was floating down the line. They learned how to speak. You got to speak next language. You know, they learned that really quick. But you never miss anything. It's hard as a coach. It's very difficult to consistently hold people accountable over and over again. That's why a lot of our teams, I think, achieve at a high level. Number 4, he had high standards. Everybody say he had high standards. Coach Harlan he had high standards. He put it so hard, almost like, is that realistic? But he had an ability to kind of get you to that level somehow, but just pushing you to do it. Quick story. I have a lot of stories about Nick. He liked to run conditioning. He loved running conditioning. I was the strength coach guy, and I did the Nick liked conditioning part. At the end of practice, he worked the pitchers, I did position players. It's a good time to kind of run them together. And Nick loved long sprints, time. All you athletes know, terrible. The worst thing you can do is long sprints. And one day, he always did time, it was like really hard time. One day, we had a kid named Mike Laws. Remember Mike Laws?
Very well.
He was not meant to run long distance. It's not your thing. You know, maybe 10-yard sprints was his thing. He had like 3 knee surgeries. And just been doing like 8 long sprints, like in 20 seconds to go from pole to pole straight across the field. And he gets 6 done. I'm looking, I'm like, he's not going to make it all 8. You know, and Coach Harlan was like, you did the time. It's like, don't be the weakest link, he would say. Like, you're the weakest guy, you're the weakest link to the chain. Like, it didn't matter. Everybody had to make it. And he made the 7th, barely. And then he sent him this. I know our players know what this means. Long story how he got that. But he sent him to go. He takes off. Mike Lawson's, I tell his gate's a little bit off. He wasn't looking right, and he just passes out in the middle of center field. And the whole team just kept going. And Nick looks at his watch. He goes, Mike Laws didn't make it. Get another one. Mike was still his spine. He hurt his knee or passed out. I wasn't sure what happened. But Nick held high standards. You had to meet those standards. Things changed as we got older. We got more mature. We realized some of the standards can change a little bit. But he held guys high standards. A lot of it made us better, though. He made you have to reach goals that were hard to attain. Sometimes I was like, I really believe them. We're going to take a World Series here, and we did. You know, these things, we'd be nationally ranked. Those things we accomplished. A lot of it because their standards were so high, our players brought into it. He held guys hard. Number 5, I heard a lot. Great motivator. Nick was a great motivator. He just had the ability to motivate people. I spent a lot of time at 22, 23 years old I see him reading all the time. I got into it too. Read a lot. And just learn how to motivate people. It's so important. And I watched him do that. Learned a lot coaching with Nick, how to motivate athletes. Just always do what to do and when to do it. I'll give her a quick story. He did a talk on like doing more than you think you can, challenge yourself, not taking the easy road. Actually, he did like, Nick was a long talker. At first, or not. His wife probably knows this. Long talker. But it was a good speech. He got it, and the kid after the guy is Jeff Abib. Remember Jeff Abib? Comes up and goes, Coach, I'm going to finance now. It's like, okay. So I was taking the easy road. Changed my major tomorrow. Talk me into it. It's just a good, talk to the kid, not even baseball related. All of a sudden, he had the ability of just communication, and he invested time in it. He became a great communicator. Number 6 is one I'm probably most proud of. He was a great mentor. I've seen it not just baseball related. He mentored many young men. I really believe men left here became better people, better husbands, better employers. They're more successful in life. And he really invested. He was pretty open about his faith, and he invested in life spiritually as well, which was really awesome to see throughout the years. Is the impact he had. I know a lot of young men are following Christ now because of those years. I really believe that. Now, that's probably the most proud I am to be involved in that process. It was a great time. The last thing I heard a lot, Nick was a great storyteller. Some people have that gift. They tell a story, and it just really flows. He's passionate. It kind of just all comes together, communicating really well. So I thought, what's the best story I can think of Nick Harlan? And there's a lot of stories that I can come up with. There's one that always pops in my head. That is the best story. And I know maybe Conyers was there, maybe, I don't know. But a lot of just come through here and there at that time. One day, kind of set it up. It's 22 degrees outside Nebraska in early March. You guys have been there? Not fun. We have 22 is probably the high of the day. It is 30-mile north winds. Think about that. It's freezing cold. High chance of frostbite that day. But Nick, being the person he is, we come to the office in the morning, got to make a practice plan. And Nick's like, think you go outside? I'm like, no. So I talked to him into going to the field house. I'm going to field house this time. So we're like, great, it's warm, it's frostbite, gets injured, perfect day to go inside. I show up at the field house. Eric's coaching at the time, with I think Coach Connolly as well. And we're sitting there nice, it's awesome. And Nick comes in and he's on a mission. I know Nick's look. I'm like, this is not going to go well. He comes to me, first thing he says, he's like, are we soft? I'm like, soft? What do you mean? No, I'm not soft. Soft? And he goes, well, we playing this. I'm like, honestly, we played anything. We're crazy. I mean, we're playing anything. We forced teams to play us. Like, we played that. I said, yeah, we probably would. He goes, the team's soft. I'm like, no, they're pretty tough. Pretty tough. He goes, we're going to go outside to the point. We're soft. I'm like, great, we're going outside. So he brings the team up. He's like, we're going outside, quick round of BP. We're used to this. We're going to play this. That's how Nick talks. He kind of gets motivated. So he sends them on their way, and he walks up to Eric and I and Dylan and goes, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to wear shorts and T-shirts. Let's act like we're not cold. Are you serious? You realize how cold it is out there, right? He was like, yeah, let's act like we're not cold, right? Shiver. Great. So we go out there, and so usually I throw a bat in practice. But Nick's like, I got it. I'm like, great, I can't feel my arm. So I'm out in the outfield. It's cold. I'm like, hey, players, block me. That's cold outside. One kid looks and goes, this is crazy. I'm like, yeah, it's very crazy. Yeah, I'm thinking, one kid goes, Coach Harlan's crazy. I said, he's crazy. Go tell him that. So I'm so cold outside, and Nick's still tall and BP. I said, I'm going to go hit bungos and try to hit some ground balls to get warm. I can't feel my arms. It's cold outside. I hit some bungos. We're about halfway in, and Nick stops in the middle of it. Looks at me and goes, are you hot too? Yeah, bring it up out here. Yeah, it's hot out here. He goes, me too. And he takes his shirt off. Yeah, I'm burning up too. And did you ever watch Dumb and Dumber on the scooter? Crazy. So he sped up a little bit. He got really cold. He gets going. He said, "Okay, we're done." Clean it up. He brought him up. And he goes to give him the speech usual. And his face is frozen. He's like, he finally got some words out and he broke them. And he kind of waited till he leave. And he walked up to Eric and I. And he goes, "That was a bad idea." That was too cool. We got covered though, right? Yeah. Can we get, stay here for a little bit, wait till they leave. He saw his shirt off, sitting there free. And then they left. But that was Nick Harlan. He was crazy at times, and as he grew as a coach, a little less crazy. He grew as a person, he grew as a coach. But I was there for the years when he started. It was awesome. My voice. It was awesome to be a part of. I just appreciate the time to be a part of it. I always felt like I was, we always said we a lot. Hard times, I even called Nick this morning, like, "Keep saying we." You know, I'm so used to being, we're always connected, did it together for so many years. And he's like, that's how it is, you know. But let's look forward to see what he can do in the future. He's still doing great things, head coach. I'm sure he's had pro guys drafted. He had 2 guys recently got drafted, were the pitcher of the year in the minor league system, 2 different organizations. He's had guys doing great things right now, and he continues to do so. But he also is impacting young men, like he always has. So, congratulations on the award, well-deserved award. Looking forward to this opportunity to talk about you here. But congratulations.
Harlan wore Panther blue from 1999 through 2001, playing first base under head coach Milan Rasic. The Oroville, California native began his coaching career in 2002 at Feather River Community College in Quincy, California. He returned to York a year later as an assistant coach. Beginning in 2004, Harlan was head coach at York University for 9 years. He led the Panthers to 5 regional berths, 4 straight top 25 rankings, and a school record 45 wins in 2010. His overall record eclipsed 300 wins. He was a 2-time MCAC Coach of the Year. In 2013, his team broke through to the next level, earning a trip to the NAIA World Series. Harlan's World Series team finished with a 42-12 overall record. They were recognized with the Hank Burbridge Champions of Character Award, given to one team in the nation that best exemplified the 5 core values of the NAIA: integrity, respect, responsibility, sportsmanship, and servant leadership. Nick has been a part of the University of Central Arkansas Sugar Bears baseball program since 2013 and was named head coach in 2021. During his years as UCA pitching coach, 6 pitchers have been taken in the Major League Baseball draft. Harlan is passionate about using athletics as a platform for teaching lessons about life and faith. He has built his career around helping young athletes find their passion, make good choices, and live with a higher purpose. Because of his outstanding athletic achievements during his years with York University and his continued success in the world of athletics, on this day, October 22nd, 2022, Nick Harlan is inducted into the York University Athletic Hall of Fame.
Right here.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you, Dr. Smith. Thank you very much, Garrett, Ronnie, Trent, and all of Fame committee members. Very, very grateful for this experience. York, I was really nervous about what Brian was going to say. I was really nervous. I mean, we're going to hook it up against LSU and University of Arkansas and Vanderbilt and some other teams this year. I think I was more nervous for what Brian was going to say about my time here with him. than anything else. But I'm just glad there was no social media back then. I'm sure there's a lot of people in there that are glad there's no social media. I think we should go back to that, by the way. That's not another. That's a talk for another time. But if you want to stick around and visit a little bit about it, we can visit on my thoughts on social media. So just very, very grateful. I think, there's significant places and people that God puts in your life throughout your journey to help shape you and help you develop and help you grow. And York University, that's tough for me to say. York University, York College was one of those places for me. And this would have never happened if it wasn't for my parents who are here today. And I get to share that with them, which is a huge honor. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But first, I just want to say I'm so grateful I get to share this moment with my wife, Lindsay, and my two children, my beautiful children, Hazel and Walker, who's somewhere causing havoc somewhere. There he is. But I get to share this because I didn't get to share this time with them. And this time was so valuable to me. But they get to come back and hear some stories and see the people that were so important to me, that are important to me, still important to me. And so this is just a special moment. But it started at home, and it always starts at home. That's where this whole thing starts. Family is the most important organization in the world, in my opinion. But it starts at home. And the behaviors and the character and the disciplines that were modeled to me, I cherish forever. And whether it was simple things like my mom driving the 1982 Ford Bronco around that was primered. I think Dad told her we were going to get it painted for about 6 or 7 years. She drove it around primered from game to game, and we'd stop at 7-Eleven and get the 2 chili cheese dogs for $1, and that was our dinner for the night. Or where was Dad playing catch with me and putting the gear on, and then I would throw it in the dirt, and he'd tell me, "Hey, if you throw it in the dirt again, we're done for the day." And so I'd play catch with him, or the more important things like seeing my mom when I would wake up every morning and see my mom with her Bible open, and the consistency in her faith, and how important that was for our family. And then my dad, as he got up every day for 30 years to do a job and serve people, and didn't skip a beat. And I always remember, you remember a lot of things about your childhood. Me, not so many before about 5 or 6 years old. But I remember a moment, and this was I think it was a neat moment. My dad used to get us up early on Saturday mornings, and we'd have to do work. We'd have to pull weeds. We'd have to, do work around the house. And at the time, we hated it. But he would also he'd wash the Ford Bronco. This was after it was painted, but before it was painted the second time. But we'd wash the Ford Bronco, and believe it or not, people would actually wash their vehicles by hand. A bucket, soap, and water. They put a rag in there and a hose, and you'd wash your vehicle by hand. That's very rare today. But people would do that and take time to do it. And my dad did that religiously. And so he taught me the value of detail and taking care of it and making sure it was shining, there was no streaks on the black, and how you had to keep the water on it when the sun was out so it didn't streak, and use the right towel and make sure you didn't leave the towel on the ground, and because there's a rock or a pebble that could get in it and scratch the paint. All these lessons that you learned about washing a vehicle. And then one Saturday we got done, and he said, let's go downtown. We got to go run an errand. We got to do something, pick something up. So of course we hopped in. He cranked up the tunes, which is my favorite part about it. Had the windows down, and music was blaring, and we were rolling downtown. And we happened to drive by this old field in Orville, California. And there were some old California rednecks down there. They were just mud bogging and down there tearing it up, and they were stuck. They were stuck down there in the mud. Sure enough, we pull around, we stop, we pull them in. Dad gets out, locks the hubs, and we get down into that mud, and we start going four-wheeling, and we get down in there. We didn't have a tow rope, So he turns the truck around, the only way we can get in, he turns it around, and he butts the end of the Bronco up to their pickup or whatever they were driving, and he pushes them out. And when we got done, there was, you may not remember this, but there was a little dent. There was a dent in the back of the Bronco. And I remember how detailed we were and how important that Bronco was. And I looked at him and said, I was kind of nervous, like, oh man, there's mud everywhere, there's a dent in the back of this thing. Yeah, I thought this was going to be a bad moment. And I remember he looked at me and he said, it's okay. It's good. Help these people out. This is just a material thing. This is just a Bronco. We can clean it. And I thought, man, at that moment you don't think much of it, but it always went back to people. And for me, that's what this experience has been about. It's been about people. And there's so many people that I need to thank and just honor. But York University is about people. And whether it's, and before York, my junior college coach, Jed Soto, gave me the blueprint on how to manage and coach a team. I'm so thankful for him. Whether it's Millen Rassick or Bobby Dehart that recruited me and helped me get to this place. And I was just smart enough to realize that I needed a Christian environment at that time, coming from junior college. Whether it was President Wayne Baker or President Steve Beckman or Jared Stark or Chris Luther that believed in Brian and I. Just the people that trusted us, that gave us the opportunity to grow and to develop here. That's just extremely valuable. And I'll tell you this, it's all for me, and Brian touched on this, but it's about the players. We wouldn't have this honor, and I say we, because I'm like Brian. I don't do this without Brian. And I'll talk more about that, but it's the players that we had, the buy-in, the trust. They chose to come play for us. The character they had, the courage that they had, the willingness to buy into something that we were, something that we believed in. And listen, we believed that a lot was possible, and to the point where it was crazy. It was crazy, but we wouldn't settle for anything less. We wouldn't do it. And so it's the players that I'm just so grateful for. And when I see them now and they're successful, and it's 15, 20 years later, and they have families, and they're successful in the workplace and in the communities. That's where I know that we had some success. So I'm just so grateful for that. But God puts the right people with you, and He did that when He put me with Brian. The hitting group, and when I remember that day vividly that he said about Omaha, leaving Omaha, we had to go recruit, but he put the right person with me, and his knowledge for the game was second to none, and still is. And I think you have strengths and weaknesses as a coach and as a person, and you need to surround yourself with people that can complement you. And he did that with Brian. He gave me someone who had great knowledge of the game, who had a level head, who was mature, who was loyal, who was steadfast, and I leaned on him a lot. And we did have some moments, some challenging moments. I remember those days where we were arguing in front of the dugout, and Brian would always give me the truth. And I would ask him, I'd say, hey, listen, B, I'd say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think we should do this or this? And oftentimes he would disagree with me and tell me. And it almost got to the point where I would say, hey man, you're going to have to sometimes agree with me, because I'm starting to second guess myself, and I'm losing my confidence. He said, well, I don't want to be a yes man. I said, well, you're not. Just tell me the truth, but just don't play the devil's advocate. But he would tell me the truth. I remember one time, I was feeling pretty good, I guess. I was losing, maybe I lost my humility there for a minute, but I was feeling pretty good. And we were sitting there, we were in the middle of the game, and I looked at him and I said, hey man, I'm doing pretty good. I said, my temper's been good lately. And I said, I haven't been as edgy. I'm doing pretty good. I've been working on it. Can you tell I've been working on it? And he looked at me and he goes, no. He goes, you're not doing good. We don't lose. Let's start losing and those qualities come out. But he would always he would give me the truth, and I just I really appreciate that. And I still, he probably gets tired of it, but, and I don't think, I don't do a good enough job of connecting with all the people I care about. But I probably 2 or 3 times a week, I'll call Brian on the way to work in the morning, just to check in with him and make sure we're on the same page still. and we are. So that's good. But so thankful for the players and then, the coaches. And, Eric was such a huge part of that as a player and then as a coach. Just always believed in me, believed in what I was teaching, and believed in the mission. And I'm so grateful for you and for Dylan as well. That was the core of our coaching staff. So just so thankful for you guys. I appreciate that. Ultimately, to me, running a baseball program is simply family done well. And that's what we're teaching our players now. That's what we strive. We grew. That's what we were striving to teach our players then. And I think as we got older, we understood that a little bit more. But it's family done well. And there's high standards, there's accountability, and there's confrontational moments, of course, because confrontation changes behavior, and those things are important. But there's grace, and there's forgiveness, and there's love, and there's respect. It's the same things that I want, the environment I want to foster for my own children. It's the exact same things. And that my wife, Lindsay, and Hazel and Walker, that's my most important role, I believe, here. And to be an ambassador for Christ. But that's my most important role. And so the way that we run our program is we want it to be a family environment. And that doesn't mean that it's always easy, as you know. Families aren't perfect. But you have to forgive one another and give each other grace, just as Christ has given us his grace. And so I'm just so thankful for the opportunity that I have and the opportunity that I had here and what I was taught, what was modeled to me here. The people modeled it for me here and created an environment where I could learn that and grow and build on what my family taught me. So I just really appreciate that. But the one thing that I mentioned, my parents and Brian and my wife Lindsay and the players and the coaches, the one thing that they did was they showed up. They showed up. My dad showed up every day for work, for his family. My mom showed up every day for our family. Brian showed up every day to help the program, to help me. Lindsay shows up every day for the kids and for me. Not always easy. Not always easy. And some days you don't. Some days you don't want to show up. You do not want to show up. Some days I don't want to show up. But the people in my life have showed up. And that's what I'm trying to teach our players, because as men, I'm speaking as a man, as men need to show up. Show up for their families, show up for their jobs, show up for the people that they care about. And that's what I believe that we're called to do, is to show up. And the only way that I can do that, and some days are harder than others, is because of my relationship with Christ. That's it. The Bible says that Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Shows up. And that's the only way that I can do it, because of Christ in me. When I put my faith in Christ, and Christ came into me, and his Holy Spirit came into me, allowed me to sustain that. And I'm so thankful, because there's nothing else in my life, nothing, that has fulfilled me the way that my relationship with Jesus Christ does. And so I'm so thankful for him and the grace that he has given me. Just really appreciate everyone being here today. It means the world to me. Appreciate sharing with my family and my wife, and Chrissy and Megan, all the other people that I see, former players, Aaron, just everybody that's here, Greg and Chad and family. We're just so thankful for everybody that's here. This York University and College is very dear to me, and it will always be. It's very significant. I love it, and I'll always be a Panther, and always look forward to coming back to York. So thank you again, and I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend and has a great day with great weather. Enjoy it.
Thank you for being here. You know, to hear these stories, that's what York College, York University is all about. We're going to say a prayer, sing the alma mater. Inductees, please head to the Freeman Center right after here so we can get some photos. We have the wall there that we want to get your pictures in front of. So thank you guys for celebrating this day with us. Let's pray. Father God, you are why I'm here. You're why a lot of people came to York College, York University. You use people to further your kingdom. You use our stories. You create stories. You use this place to further your kingdom, and that's amazing. It's a God thing. There's no rhyme or reason to most of the stories you hear about why people came to York College, but it's because of you. You led them here. You used people to mentor them, to help them mature, and then those people went on to spread your word and to talk about York. And I'm just thankful that I get to be a part of it, that my story also has York College in it. That's where I met my wife. Father, I'm thankful for the way that you use this place. I pray that you continue to give the leaders wisdom here on this campus, that you continue to help the students, that we would continue to help the coaches, and just be there and help support everyone who is still a part of this university and still working to continue its growth. Father, thank you for Jesus. I've needed more grace than most, and I'm thankful for the mercy, forgiveness, and grace that you offer all of us in this room. For we all fall short of you, Father, and we're thankful for your death and resurrection, Father. Thank you again for everything you do for us. It's in your precious name we pray. Amen. Sing. All right, please stand for the alma mater.
We need the words. The words are on the back of the program. Let me in the song.
On the hill of the rising sun stands a college we know.